Hi everyone, Elise here with Crafty Cat Designs, and I'm bringing you that video I promised you where I'm going to show you how to make your own rub and buff. If you've done a lot of crafting or even a little bit, you've probably heard of rub and buff, and you know that it's used in furniture refinishing and in upcycling other things to highlight the raised detail on projects with a metallic sheen. And it's a great product. It works for a lot of different uses, but it is limited in its colors and it is a little bit pricey. If you're like me, you like to DIY as many things as possible. One of the reasons I enjoy that is I have a lot more creative control. I can come up with my own colors, and I can change it the way I like it and have a little bit more control over that. And also just because of cost, when you're doing a lot of different, if you're like me and you just like so many different types of mediums and you just can't make up your mind, this stuff really adds up. So when you can save money and you can try something out for a lot less, it's wonderful. So I'm going to show you now how to make your own rub and buff. When I decided that I wanted to try it, of course, the first thing I did was I looked it up to see if somebody else had already done this. When I want to DIY something, most of the time I found that somebody out there has already done it and I can just follow in their footsteps, which is great. But when I tried to find out, come up with a recipe for rub and buff, there wasn't anything out there. There were a few people who had come up with something for scrapbooking where they used gel medium or an acrylic medium as a base. And that probably works great for scrapbooking because you're putting it on paper. But if you want something that's going to work on wood or other kinds of durable objects, that's just not going to work. So I want, and the real rub and buff is a wax-based product. So I wanted something that was going to mirror the actual product. And so I had to do a little research. And in my research, I found out that the base product for rub and buff, of course, is wax. And what really makes it a hard, durable product is that it has a wax called carnauba in it. And carnauba wax is a very, very hard wax. I did a little digging to see if I could just buy carnauba wax, and I can, but a little block of it is about $15, which is more expensive than rub and buff. And if I wanted to help you out and help you save money, that's just not going to do it. So I did a little more looking around, a little more digging around, and I found out there is a product that has carnauba wax in it that is affordable, and that is shoe polish. So I'm sure all of you have this on hand. If you don't, you can buy this product, this Kiwi brand, at Walmart. I paid $1.98 for this, and you don't need a lot of it, so the small can is fine. Now, this particular one is their tan, or they call it, oops, sorry. They call it the, tan. You can see that. Okay, but you can also use the clear. For this, since we're going to use a gold metallic, I thought the tan was just fine because then you already start with a little bit of a colored base. But you can also use their natural if you want. But this has carnauba wax in it as well as some other waxes, so it'll soften up so that you can add the metallic to it. So you're going to need, first of all, you're going to need your shoe polish. The next thing you're going to need is some type of palette knife. Now, if you don't have an actual palette knife, just a kitchen butter knife is going to work just fine for you. Okay, and then lastly, you're going to need some type of metallic powder. Here's two different kinds. One is a bright gold, and another is more of a bronze. This is an old brand I've had for a long, long time. This stuff goes a long way. Or this one is Perfect Pearls, and there's also Pearlex, so that you can use any of these if you already have them on hand, or you can buy them. Okay, so the two things that you need, that's about it. And then we're going to use this little cutting board I got from the Dollar Tree. It's going to be my work surface for making this. It's very, very simple process. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to cut off a piece of your wax. And this is probably about a half a teaspoon. It's not very much. You can see that on the palette knife. get an idea of what we're looking at. And this is not an exact science. If you have too much wax, you just add more metallic to it. You don't really have to measure this. You're just going to put this together until it looks nice and has the thickness that is going to give you a nice metallic sheen. So you're going to put this on your work surface, and the first thing you're going to do is you're going to start mashing it to soften it up and to make it something that you can work with. So little by little, you just mash this down and work it until you've softened up all of the wax into a nice, pasty, easy to work with waxy pile here. All right, so that's pretty good. It really doesn't take very long to get this done. Okay, and then the next thing that you're going to do, I'm going to use this darker bronzy metallic. This is going to work for, this is what I'm going to use in a project that I'm working on. So you can see it has that beautiful metallic bronze color to it. So we're just going to scoop some of this out of the jar. And again, like I said, this is not a really, this isn't baking, okay? If you put too much metallic in it, just add more wax. If you don't add enough, just add more. You're just going to keep doing this until it looks nice. So we're going to add that in. And then all you do is you just start mixing it in. Now, this is going to start to thicken up. It's going to get a little flaky. And you're going to kind of lose that, you know, that nice buttery consistency of your wax. But that's just because you've now got it mixed in with the metallic. Look at that. Is that amazing? Look how beautiful that looks. Okay, let me flatten it out so it doesn't fall off, and I will show you. Just look at this. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? This is going to do a great job on your craft projects. Okay? So, there you go. Now, you just keep mixing it until you get it all mixed in, and it is just a beautiful, thick, metallic paste. And there you have it. Guys, it couldn't be simpler. That's all you have to do. Shoe polish, metallic powder, rub and buff. Okay? Works great. All right, so what I've done here, I bought this at the Dollar Tree, and of course you all know what this is. It's just a pill box. So I've already made some of the bronze, and I'm just going to add this to it. This is just going to keep all my colors together so that I can keep track of it. So when I'm looking for it, I know where to go to find it. It's all in one spot. I don't have little individual little bins or jars that I have to try to keep up with. Okay, it's all in one spot, and you're just going to scoop it into here. Okay, now I was going to make a separate video about how to make this Valentine's Day project, but I'm really not going to have enough time. The workshop that I'm working out of right now is going to double as a garage sale here in another week, and I'm not going to have time to do another video out of here. And besides, it's not that complicated. All I did was chalk paint it and then use the rub and buff. So I'm just going to go ahead and show this to you and show you what I started with and what I did. Okay, hold on just a moment and let me get this. Okay, so this is the glass that I started with. If you watched my Dollar Tree haul, you've already seen this. If not, here it is. And the sun is coming in really strong from that little window, and it is shining on this and making it really hard to read. But it says made with love. Okay, so this is a mason jar from Dollar Tree. Thought that was really cute. So what I did with this is I put 2 coats of a DIY chalk paint, because again, I don't buy things, I make my own. And if you want to know the recipe, I can do a video with that recipe, but my recipe is pretty consistent with other people who make their own chalk paint out there. It's basically just the paint, plus I use I think it's a floor compound. That works great, or even just plaster of Paris. You just mix it in with a little bit of, just a teeny bit of water to keep the consistency, and that's it. I probably will go ahead and do that in a future video, but if you want to go ahead and get on a project like this, you want to use the chalk paint, you want to make your own, there are a lot of people out there that have already posted videos and blogs with that recipe on it. So what I did is I'd use 2 coats of the chalk paint. I would recommend when you paint the jar like this that you start at the bottom. I made the mistake of starting at the top, and then when I got to the bottom, I couldn't hold onto the jar because it was covered with paint. So, you know, not really thinking very well. So save you that trouble by letting you know. Start at the bottom and work around in a circle. Don't go up and down. You'll get nice, you'll get smoother coverage that way. So I put a coat on, let it dry, and then put another coat on so that it had a lot of coverage on it. And then what I did, you just go into your rub and buff, and you're just going to put it on your finger. The stuff is made to be used and put on with your finger. You don't use a brush, you don't use any tools, you just use your finger. And you just go over the highlighted areas. Let's see if I can still show you maybe an area that doesn't have much on it. And you just lightly go over those areas with your finger. If you want a stronger coverage, you go over it multiple times. If you just want a light coverage, you just barely touch it and get just a little bit on there. And that's all you do to get this and make a little jar like this. And just look how the writing just stands out from the jar. It looks great. So all it takes is Dollar Tree jar, a little bit of chalk paint, shoe polish that I keep trying to drop on the... Okay, no wonder I'm dropping it. The lid won't stay on. There we go. Shoe polish with now a lid firmly attached so I don't drop it, and metallic pigment. And that's all you need. And you've got something like this. You can either use it to... If you wanted to give this as a gift and put something inside it, I would recommend that you only go to here, let this stay unpainted so that the lid is going to stay on properly. Or you could put a candle in it and make it a candle holder. A lot of things that you can do with it. I was just going to put flowers in it and put it in a display for Valentine's Day. The other thing that I did with the Rub and Buff is oh, that is not showing up. There we go. Is I did this little Dollar Tree mirror also. This had a lot of detail on it, and basically I painted it, same thing. I used chalk paint, only in this case white chalk paint, and 2 coats, and maybe even 3 on the back side. It was very smooth. It took a little bit more, and then basically you just go over it and you bring out all this detail with the Rub and Buff, and now you have a cute shabby chic little mirror. So you can use Rub and Buff for a lot of different projects to highlight areas and add a little metallic sheen to things. And again, it comes in a lot of different, you have your pigments in a lot of different colors, so you have a lot of variety. You can even get into purples and pinks and things like that if that's what you're looking for. So by making your own, the possibilities are endless. And what could possibly be better when you're crafting is to have endless possibilities. So this stuff is really cool, and this is why I DIY, if anybody ever asks. Endless possibilities, and I think that's a good enough reason. So, okay, so that's about it for today. It's going to be a while till I do any more videos because, like I said, I'm turning this into a big garage sale. I'm getting rid of lots of stuff, and once I do that, I'm going to have the space to do some bigger projects, and that's what I'm really excited about because then I'm going to start doing some furniture, which is what I really love to do, but I just haven't had the space because I have too much stuff. Thanks for taking the time out to watch my video, and if you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe and tune in to later videos. Thank you so much. Bye.